Céad Míle Fáilte. Welcome to the Treasured Tales of Ireland, a place where you can come and listen to the many myths, legends, folk tales, and fairy tales of the Emerald Isle as a way to keep the stories of old alive. My name is MyLinda Butterworth, and I will be your teller of tales. I hope you will join me each week for new tales, and if you enjoy my work, then like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss any episodes, and check all of my other playlists for more tales. Before we start, you should note that if you are using the closed caption feature of this video, many Irish names don't sound the way they look, and we have made every attempt to say them properly. Now, let's get started. Today, we continue with the stories of the ever-living living ones, Part 3 of 15, Angus Og, Episode 11. And as to Angus Og, son of the Dagda, sometimes he would come from the Boinn and let himself be seen upon the earth. It was a long time ago after the coming of the gale that he was seen by Cormac, king of Teamhair, and this is the account he gave of him. He was by himself one day in his hall of judgment, for he used to be often reading the laws and thinking how he could best carry them out. And on a sudden he saw a stranger, a very comely young man, at the end of the hall, and he knew on that moment it was Angus Og, for he had often heard his people talking of him, but he himself used to be saying he did not believe there was any such person at all. But when his people came back to the hall, he told them how he had seen Angus himself and had talked with him, and Angus had told his name and had foretold what would happen in the future. And he was a beautiful young man, he said, with high looks, and his appearance was more beautiful than all beauty. And there were ornaments of gold on his dress, and in his hand he held a silver harp with strings of red gold, and the sound of its strings was sweeter than all music under the sky. And over the harp were two birds that seemed to be playing on it. He sat beside me pleasantly and played his sweet music to me. And in the end, he foretold things that put drunkenness in my wits. The birds now that used to be with Angus were 4 of his kisses that turned into birds, and that used to be coming about the young men of Ireland and crying after them. Come, come, 2 of them would say, and I go, the other would say. And it was hard to get free of them. But as to Angus, even when he was his young youth, he used to be called the frightener or the disturber for the plough teams of the world. And every sort of cattle that is used by men would make away in terror before him. And one time, he appeared in the shape of a landholder to 2 men, Reeve and Og, that were looking for a place to settle in. The first place they chose was near Brugh, on a plain that was belonging to Angus, and it was then he came to them, leading his horse in his hand, and he told them they should not stop there, and they said they could not carry away their goods without horses. Then he gave them his horse, and bade them to pull all they had a mind to on that horse, and he would carry it. And so he did. But the next place they chose was Moyfineth, the fine plain, and it was the playing ground of Angus and of Medea, and that time Medea came to them in the same way and gave them a horse to put their goods on, and he went with them as far as Moy-Darvine. And there were many women loved Angus, and there was one, Ingi, daughter of Elkmore, loved him, though she had not seen him. and she went one time looking for him to the gathering for the games between Clídech and she and Brugh, and the bright troops of the She used to come to that gathering every Samhain evening, bringing a moderate share of food with them, that is, a nut. And the sons of Dirk came from the north, out of the She Fin de Brugh, and they went round about the young men and women without their knowledge, and they brought away Elkmore's daughter. There were great lamentations made, and the name of the place was Croguba, the nut lamentation, from the crying there was at that gathering. And Durbren and Yoked, Feidelach's daughter, was another that was loved by Angus, and she had 6 fosterlings, 3 boys and 3 girls. But the mother of the boys, Dalgarve, the rough, put a spell on them, and she made from a gathering of the nuts of Col O'Quee that turned them into swine. And Angus gave them into the care of Brugh, the hospitaller of Leinster, and they stopped a year with him. But at the end of that time there came a longing on Brugh's wife to eat a bit of the flesh of one of them. So she gathered 100 armed men and 100 hounds to take them. But the pigs made away, and went to Boinn to Angus, and he bade them welcome, and they asked him to give them his help. But he said he could not do that till they had shaken the tree of Tarvaga and eaten the salmon of Inver Omal. So they went to Glascarn and stopped a year in hiding with Debrin, and then they shook the tree of Tarvaga, and they went on towards Inver Omal. But Maeve gathered the men of Connacht to hunt them, and they all fell but one, and their heads were put on a mound, and it was called the name of Duma Selga, the mound of the hunting. And it was in the time of Maeve of Cruanha that Angus set his love on Caer Ormoy of the province of Connacht, and brought her away to Boinn. And here is where I end my tale for today. But I'll be back with more tales, many more tales. Until then, my friends, enjoy the journey. Slán go fóill. Bye for now. If you enjoyed this story, please give us a thumbs up and comment. It truly helps us.